How much do you feel that PGA and LPGA endorsements help you make a decision?
Personally, none.
Okay.
Simply because I'm an equipment person who's very brand loyal to what I've always played. Because when you're low handicap, you don't want to be switching for any particular reason.
Okay.
So irons are specific, wedges are specific, drivers are specific.
Good. Anyone else? Comments about tour presence?
Yeah, I just say that I'm not as I have picked my brands, but I'm not as brand specific. And I'll go and try if I'm trying irons. I'll go and say, okay, give me 5 irons, and I'll go with the majors.
Okay.
I won't go with the tier 2 just because probably.
So it doesn't matter who endorses it.
Probably not as much.
Okay.
Endorsements I've never.
Does anyone have a strong opinion around endorsement of product?
For me, it was Nancy Lopez, just because when I was small, she was the golfer I knew, and she was short like me. And she was the only one that I knew, so I really loved her stuff. Probably just out of loyalty.
Okay. That's great. That's good to know.
For me, the endorsement of a playing professional doesn't matter because I don't play at that level. I have a Nancy Lopez club that I love, but I love it because of the feel and how I hit it. It's not because it's fancy.
I think you have to sort of phase that out of your perception because you know that guys flip companies for the money. You know that guys are endorsing the next latest great swing gimmick improvement for the money. So I think if you're connected to the game of golf, you kind of understand some of these things that maybe the layman non-golfer is being influenced, may get influenced by. So really not.
I think advertising that you watch during a golf tournament is aimed at someone that's a higher skill set than me. Technically, I don't know the difference. All I want to know is that I can stay somewhere close to the fairway and play the game. With a club, that if you give me a professional club, I probably won't do it justice. I know I won't do it justice.
My viewpoint though with PGA endorsements is there's not a whole lot in common between my game and Tiger Woods or Ricky Fowler's, so I put kind of little stock in what they use and how it's going to affect my ability.
When you see something like #1 driver on tour for TaylorMade, is that impacting any of you in the room to be predisposed to a TaylorMade choice for drivers?
I think it may raise awareness enough to want to go out and try it, but it's not going to be the ultimate decision or the ultimate factor that's going to.
For me, Kevin, if the advertiser talks about some of what some of the technology in the equipment and what it's supposed to do for you, then I'll pay some attention to that.
So how much do you value the advice that your sales clerk is offering you at Golf Town, or your PGA professional or someone working in your shop is offering you in terms of the product? Huge?
Yeah, I would lean more to the Golf Pro though than the sales rep at Golf Town.
So when you say huge, Jamie, like how's that?
So, I mean, whether the Golf Pro or at Golf Town, I find that having someone who's got some knowledge in the specific, if you're looking for irons, and they're very knowledgeable on what suits your game after you described it to them, and especially at Golf Town having those simulators. Once they've seen you make a few swings and seen how it compares to your existing club, and I've had some good experience with them giving me some good advice. So.
Anyone else on advice that you're receiving?
We tend to listen to a pro more than a guy at the Golf Town, but some of those guys, you talk to them and in about a few minutes you realize they're pros too. It's the kid that's working at the summer, not so much.
Just by show of hands in the room, how many people have custom fit drivers in their bags today? Custom fit irons in your bags today? Yeah. So those of you that have custom fit irons, hands up again. So custom fit irons, keep your hands up please. If any of you on your next set of irons would not have them custom fit, please put your hand down. So if you're just going to walk around next time. Those who have custom fit drivers or irons in the room. Okay, now those of you, keep your hands up please. Any of you that have custom fit clubs, would you keep your hand up if you would continue to have custom fit clubs when you purchase your next set or next driver? So all of you would keep going down the custom fit process.
Yeah. I picked the club and then had them fit to me.
Yes.
Okay.
any of you rely on advice from peers when making purchasing decisions? So fellow golfers.
Definitely, especially if they're a better golfer. If my grandpa or someone tells me that something's helping him drastically in his game, I'm not going to, take it with a grain of salt. But if Matt or someone that I know tells me that, so-and-so wedge is helping him, then it definitely is going to impact if I'm buying a new wedge.
Anyone else with peer advice?
I think for the hybrid type golfers, like, I don't know, it spreads like wildfire. As soon as my dad took his 4-iron out, all his buddies did too, right? So for me, not so much, but I know that particular club's been.
Anyone else with peer advice?
Yeah, I certainly listen to peer advice for coming from people that I think are good golfers. I'm sure.
How many balls or how many rounds or how many holes you have to hit, play, or hit with that driver before you're comfortable to make a purchasing decision or not?
I can do it probably in the simulator for
Half an hour in the sim. Bruce?
I don't think I've ever been fully satisfied, so.
I spent about a half an hour. I just left me alone.
On the range?
Both.
Or in the simulator?
Both.
Okay. Pat?
Yeah, for me, it would be in the simulator, watching the stats of the technology, the spin rates and distance, and up until I feel like I'm hitting the ball consistently.
Good. Matt?
If I was really considering buying a driver and I hit 3 really good shots in a row, that might be enough for me, but then again, I'd probably like to hit it for another 10, 15, 20 minutes if I have the time for sure.
Okay.
And if not, I can always come back another day, right? It's still performing and I'll do it.
15, 20 minutes on the driving range, not the simulator.
Okay, so very much ball flight. Okay.
Yeah, I also like the range, but I have performed. It didn't work as well the next time. I mean, it just, that's the nature of the jet.
Placebo effect.
The check cleared.
Paul?
I like to see the ball fly. I mean, I'm a big believer in like the shot tracker, the simulators, not the simulators indoors. Indoors doesn't mean anything to me, but if you get outdoors, or they set it up here, 3 or 4 times a year, try different, drivers, the ball flight into a, net 10 feet away, it's undo for me.
Okay, good.
15, 20 minutes in a simulator, assuming that I've had another 10 or 15 minutes with my own club first so I can make a comparison. Because I don't think the numbers in the simulator are necessarily accurate, but relative, I think you get a good feel.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with those comments, and I'd prefer to do it outdoors, but it's not realistic for the most part. So.
Not unlike the rest of my life, technology does not have much impact on my golf. So I would do it outside so I can see it, but I'll also use it on the course. Because if you get in a rhythm, you can give me 10 different drivers and I can get in a rhythm and probably hit most if the shafts are similar and whatnot. I need it on the course because you got to maybe shape the ball, or I'd prefer to use on the range and then bring it to the course. If it works, then my chances of buying it are pretty good.
So when you test a driver, for example, if we all put ourselves in driver mode, how many holes do you have to play, or rounds do you have to play, or balls do you have to hit to be comfortable? Start with you, Rob.
Probably a driving range, a couple hundred anyway.
Stu? Couple rounds. Ellie? Couple of rounds?
Couple of rounds.
Yeah, I'm a golf town tester, so I'll go in there 10 in the morning one day and bang balls for an hour or two.
Okay.
With a bunch of different drivers.
Yeah, same golf town, like I hit it a few times, not like, rounds and rounds, but especially driver irons are different. Driver.
Yeah.
I might go to the range and try some clubs, and then if there's one that I like, maybe a tournament or something, I would rent to play and see, validate whether I like the choice.
Okay.
I'd try some of it on the range if I could, and then see if I could take one out for a round or two and see if I liked it.
Yeah. Round or two, the placebo effect can still be working.
Yeah.
And I'm a golf town trier too, but I'm impatient. It's just like, a few hits, say a dozen hits or so. And if I don't like it, then that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, I demoed them from the club and on the driving range, took a couple lessons till I narrowed it down, and then took it out on the course, tried it a couple of times, still didn't work well, but I played without a driver for my first 2 years.
Okay.
To be honest, I just couldn't hit it.
For me, it's probably 10 sessions on the range with another set of eyes.
we're seeing technology move much quicker in golf than ever before. So it used to be 15 or 20 years ago that if you bought a driver, it was current for as long as you wanted it to be. You might have to get it re-wrapped or re-gripped or whatever. But nowadays, we're seeing new drivers and technology change every year. So I've got 3 examples here, and we'll just circulate the drivers so you guys just pass them around. One is the 2011 Callaway driver, one is the 2010 Callaway driver, one's the 2009. Maybe not the right clubs for the people in this room. This is kind of their mid-range performance product. But when we look at them, here are the features that you're seeing on the screen. You can read the features of each of these drivers. You can look at them all, and you can see the pricing differences. So they all, in their current year, were $329.99 retail product. So the 2011 one is still $329.99. Last year's driver is now $198.88, and the 2009 driver is $148.88. So I want you to have a look at some of the specs, touch some of the products, and get your reaction on how you would make a choice, and would you choose to pay up or down based on what you're reading, if this was the right product for you. So assuming it's got the right shaft, the right performance specs out of a launch monitor or on the range.
For me, it's pretty obvious. I picked the middle one. I just see $130 savings. Now I could go for the 2009 for an additional 50 more bucks, but I know, you know, $200 per driver, it's not the worst thing in the world. And you know, maybe I'm just one more year more current, but for the extra $130, I'm not going to pay for it.
I'm in the same boat on that one for sure. Definitely, I'm taking the 2010 as opposed to the 2000.
And I don't look at that.
I'm gonna hit all 3, and whatever one is the best, and it could be the 09 or it might be the new one, and whatever it is, I'm gonna pay. But I don't need the new one because it's new.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm gonna hit all 3, and I tried to buy a new driver last year, but when I tested them out on the simulator, I found my old driver, which is 5 or 6 years old, gave me the best results on the simulator, so I just decided why spend $500 on a new driver. I just stayed with my old driver.
Anyone choosing the 2011 product right off the bat? Yeah.
I would choose it. I've read about it a little bit already, and it seems to be like new technology too. So it's not like from the first year to the second year, it's not too much of a difference. But this new year here, it seems like the type of metal that teamed up with Lamborghini and stuff too. So it seems like it's actually, it has to have some actual reads and benefits from it. But yeah, I think that's probably.
So go with the latest technology.
I like the look of it compared to the other 2. You know, if you basically took the prices out of the equation, you said which one do you like the look of the best, there's no question that 2011 looks like more of a conventional kind of driver. But you know, the one thing I would say that I've learned about drivers in the last couple of years, it's all about shaft.
Well, I wanted to say, you know, you said technology is moving faster all the time, but I felt like we've actually come up against the wall in the last few years. That it was moving faster a while ago, and you had to have the latest one because it was truly better. But now I feel like, and even if they had the technology, they're not allowing it on the tours and anyway. So I mean, how much better can we get? So my perception is that we've hit the wall.
I would agree with that totally, because they limited the size and the spring effect and all these other measures that they use.
So I hit all 3, and unless one felt drastically different, I'd probably go with the new one. Just because.
Go with the new one. Okay.
I buy the middle because offset 2 years and it becomes the low end.
Yes.
Okay.
I probably, I haven't tried them. They all look the same.